So everyone who knows me well is aware that I'm a big Super Smash Bros. Fan. It's up there among my favorite video game franchises, and I play Melee competitively. Then I wondered, how could I combine Smash with basketball? So what is up with it, everybody? My name is Luke, and in this video I'm going to match NBA players with the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate roster. So that's about 81 total matches. As a disclaimer, some of these might have some odd explanations, but in my defense, it was hard to be accurate for everybody. Factors will include things like competitive viability, actual attributes, the character's actual playstyle compared to the player's playstyle, and among other things. I will also go in order from left to right and top to bottom, so starting with Mario and ending with Byleth. Mario is Jerry West, because Mario is the logo of Nintendo and Jerry West is the logo of the NBA, so just thought it would work out that way. DK is Draymond Green, because they're both strong and burly, and come on, look at DK's taunt. Can't you see Draymond doing that in real life? Because I can. Link is Steph Curry. Link is known for his projectile game and is super good at it, and Steph is known for his long range, being the best shooter in NBA history. So, given that they're both super great sharpshooters, decided that this would be an appropriate match. Samus is Kyle Korver, because Samus is a one-dimensional long-range projectile user and isn't really good at anything else, and Kyle Korver is basically like that too, but you know, only really good at shooting threes, and everything else, he's just okay. Dark Samus just went with Del Curry. For Yoshi, I decided to go with Vince Carter. Both have been around for a super long time, and they both have insane jumps, which are pretty much impossible to beat. Kirby is Michael Carter Williams. Kirby started off really good as he was top tier in Smash 64, but ever since then was a pretty bad character, at times even the worst one. Similarly, Michael Carter Williams started off super strong, peaking in his first ever NBA game, and since then has been awful. For Fox McCloud, went with none other than Kobe Bryant. When they were both at their peaks, they were pretty much impossible to stop. Well, you could still stop them kinda, but they were practically invincible and very clearly the best in their respective fields. And they were both stopped by something which ended their reign. In Fox's case, the nerfs in Brawl, and in Kobe's case, the Achilles injury. For Pikachu, went with Michael Jordan. Pikachu is probably the GOAT of Smash, having been at least high to top tier in every single Smash game. So Michael Jordan, the GOAT of NBA, it was just an appropriate matching. Luigi, Lance Stevenson. I mean, come on. Lance Stevenson is a huge meme in the NBA community. Luigi, also a big meme in Smash. Like, just look at these taunts and all that. That definitely screamed Lance. For Ness, went with Devin Booker. They got similar eyes, I mean, come on. Can't you see the resemblance? Plus, they both got range. Ness also has nutty projectiles, and Devin Booker's shot, very wet. Captain Falcon went with Zion Williamson. Both are super strong and super fast dudes that always bring hype wherever they go. Besides, I could totally see Zion doing Captain Falcon things if he were programmed into Smash. Jigglypuff went with Roy Hibbert. They were both once super defensive studs, like Roy Hibbert with his rim protection and Jigglypuff's infamous wall of pain. But then after that fell off drastically, as Puff has been basically a bottom 3 character in every Smash game since, if I'm not mistaken. While Roy Hibbert basically became irrelevant and out of the league fast. Peach went with Chris Paul. To be honest, I had trouble coming up with one for this, but this was about as good as I could get. Both are really good on offense and defense, and are pretty good at making pressure on defense too. Daisy went with Isaiah Thomas because they basically play the same when you really think about it. Bowser went with DeMarcus Cousins because they're both super big and strong and emotional guys that always get super pissed whenever things don't go their way. Ice Climbers went with the Gasol brothers because the Gasol brothers are probably the best brother duo in NBA history, although recently they did kind of fall off, mostly due to age and other things. Sheik went with LeBron because, like Pikachu, Sheik has had very consistent success in Smash, and LeBron has also been very sustainable with how great he has been. Plus, Sheik is a ninja, and LeBron could totally be a ninja because he has the speed for it. Zelda had to go with Lonzo Ball. They both started off kind of meh in their respective fields, but recently have been turning it up and getting much better. Plus, when you really think about it, Lonzo kinda has LeBron's skill set, but worse, and Zelda is basically a precursor to Sheik. Dr. Mario just went with Julius Erving, because they're both doctors. Pichu went with Jimmy Butler. Pichu started off horrible in Melee, and then in Ultimate got actually really good for a while, before he got nerfed, and then still was good, just not top tier. Similarly, Jimmy Butler was terrible to start his NBA career, but then developed into an all-star caliber player. Falco went with Blake Griffin. Fun fact, Falco has the highest full hop in the game, and Blake Griffin is super athletic and can also jump really high. And they were both really good in their respective fields when they started, but have since fell off kinda. Mark, I went with Kevin Durant, because they're both versatile and super consistent and have a variety of tools that they can both use to threaten their opponents. Also, Mark getting a little worse in Ultimate could potentially be a sign for KD after his Achilles tear. Lucina went with Brandon Ingram, because people always compared BI to KD when he first came in, but he's simply just not as good. Kinda like how Lucina was viewed as Diet Mark for a while. Young Link, Seth Curry. I mean, come on, Seth is Steph's younger brother. Enough said. Ganondorf went with Dwight Howard. Both are super strong and were dominant during their heydays, but will probably never be able to win with their peak playstyle, as Dwight Howard became a bench player but has had probably the most productive season ever. Mewtwo went with Sean Livingston. They both had a long absence, also neither one really lived up to the hype when they first came out, but when they returned, bounced back and became very productive. Roy, Brandon Roy, cause Roy's our boy. Crom went with Rudy Gobert, had a hard time coming up with this one, but they're both long and they got solid defensive capabilities. Mr. Game & Watch, J.R. Smith, easily. Both are super unpredictable and random. Game & Watch, you could get a 1 or a 9, super hit or miss. J.R. Smith, you don't know if he'll make a bunch of shots in a row or if he'll just miss 10 straight. Meta Knight matches with Shaq. Brawl Meta Knight was the most dominant Smash character of all time, being the only character in Smash history to ever be banned from singles. Similarly, Shaq I'd argue is the most dominant player of all time, if not at least the most dominant big man. Pitt, Gordon Hayward. It's kind of a meme in the Smash community to say that Pitt is super honest as a character. I think Gordon Hayward has a pretty honest playstyle, hence this matching. Dark Pit just went with CJ McCollum, didn't really know who to put here honestly, but yeah. Zero Suit Samus, I had to go with Giannis for this one. They're both freaks of nature. Samus is a 6'3", 200-pound woman bounty hunter, and she can jump super high, just like how Giannis also has super high hops. And they're both super dominant in their respective fields too. Wario went with Meta World Peace. I mean, you don't really want to screw around with either of these guys, let's be real. Snake, KD obviously. No, just kidding. Kawhi Leonard, because both are super good and super defensive. And Snake has got long range with his projectiles, just like how Kawhi is a really good shooter too. Ike, I went with Hassan Whiteside. I mean, Ike started off really good in Ultimate, and Whiteside was at one point super good as well, but then both fell off after some time. And I think that Ike's strength and long sword kind of reminds me of Whiteside with his arms and his strength too. Pokemon Trainer went with Eric Spoelstra, because Pokemon Trainer is a really good character, Spoelstra is a really good coach. Squirtle, Kendrick Nunn, because they're both super good at what they do, but still got some development to fulfill. Ivysaur, Bam Adebayo, they're both super versatile with very unique skill sets. Charizard, Andre Iguodala, they're both veterans and a force to be reckoned with even though they're at their later stages. Diddy Kong, James Harden. In Smash 4, Diddy Kong was known for being annoying to fight against and kinda gimmicky with his banana stuff. Kinda like how James Harden is kinda frustrating to play against with his signature step back move that nobody likes. Lucas, I just went with Mason Plumlee because they're both blonde, didn't really know what else to consider. Sonic went with Kyrie Irving because they're both super fast and ball dominant, but also because they're both toxic and just really, really annoying. King DDD, Glenn Davis, because, well, they're both big and fat. Olimar, Mike Conley. Just like how Mike Conley is considered by many to be super underrated, Olimar also super underrated, or at least was for a while. Lucario went with Jason Kidd, as they're both the jack-of-all-trades type with super high IQ. Rob is just this robot that can shoots free throws at a super high rate. Toon Link, Chris Middleton. Both are great shooters, although kind of diluted compared to their respective links and the corresponding players, but when utilized well, are still really, really good. Wolf, I went with Russell Westbrook, as they're both super aggressive and sometimes kinda edgy, and they're both good at several things. Villager, I went with Marcus Smart, because they're both super defensive beasts, and they use their defense to hound and frustrate you. Mega Man, Andrew Wiggins, because both were super hyped up when they first came, but then were kinda underwhelming to start. However, in recent times, they've been doing much better compared to how they started. The Wii Fit trainer is Klay Thompson, because they're both just super fit and also super chill. Rosalina and Luma, I just went with Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon, just because they're both big walls in their respective fields. Little Mac is Isaiah Thomas. Just like how Little Mac is super good on the ground and terrible in the air, Isaiah Thomas was a great offensive machine, but on defense was awful. Greninja is Zach LaVine, because both jump super high, both are super quick and agile, and also prove that they are legitimate contenders in their respective games. Palutena went with Kyle Lowry for this one, because both started off super slow in their careers, then became solid much later. Pac-Man, Alex Caruso, because both are iconic, both are entertaining, fun to watch, and also just kind of a meme. Robin is Steve Francis, as they're both magicians. That's it. Shulk is Drew Holiday, because both are super versatile and pretty good at everything. They also change the way they play depending on who their opponent is. Bowser Jr., Nikola Jokic, because both have super interesting and creative setups as their bread and butters, and that's what makes them super intriguing. Duck Hunt, Miles Turner, just because they're both good defensively and are kind of walls that prevent you from getting in. Ryu is Tim Duncan, because Ryu comes from Street Fighter, a very fundamentals focused game. Similarly, Tim Duncan is also known as the Big Fundamental, so it fits well. Ken, I went with Larry Bird, who is also a very fundamentalist focused player, and they are both blonde, so heh. Cloud is Anthony Davis, because Cloud's long sword is very much like Anthony Davis's long arms, and Cloud's dominance in Smash 4 doubles kind of reminds me of how AD is super dominant when paired with the right superstar next to him. For Corrin, I went with Rajon Rondo, because both relied on something super gimmicky before, which was good for a while, then everyone learned how to avoid it and they fell down flat since. Bayonetta, Carmelo Anthony, both were at one point super dominant and also somewhat polarizing among their fan bases, but ever since have been considered washed or much worse compared to before. Inkling, I went with Trae Young, because both are super new but are also considered to be really, really good. Ridley is Ben Simmons, because both were super hyped up additions while also considered to be big, like how Ben Simmons is big for a point guard and Ridley was quote unquote too big for the game. Simon, I went with Danny Green, a 3-and-D player that has range and will defend you pretty solidly. And Richter basically plays the same, so I picked another 3-and-D guy for him, Trevor Ariza. King K. Rool went with Marvin Bagley III, because both were super highly anticipated but have not been anything that special yet. Isabel is Patrick Beverly, who also is like Marcus Smart but worse, just how Isabel is kind of like Villager but not as good either. Incineroar just went with Miles Plumlee because they're both big and scrubs and just not good. Piranha Plant, I just went with Joe Ingles because they're both kind of troll, you know. Joker, Luka Doncic. Both are new additions and both have proven to be super, super good. Kind of like an improved version of the Inkling Trae Young comparison, if you will. Hero is Joel Embiid, because how Hero is just super random and completely RNG, Embiid also pretty random and you don't always know what you'll get out of him. Banjo and Kazooie went with Lauri Markkanen, another character that was really hyped up, but also has not been super spectacular. Terry went with Jaren Jackson Jr., because they're both super solid and have shown a good amount of promise, despite being pretty new too. Violet, RJ Barrett. Both are new, both have shown flashes of potential, but still too early to make any judgment call on them. And finally, Sakurai is Adam Silver. No explanation really needed. And well, that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know where you agree. Let me know where you think I'm way off. And with that, I'm out. See you guys next time.